I don't think there can be any argument. We live in challenging times. And I hope you don't think I'm exaggerating when I say things might never be the same again. But that, need not be a bad thing. I'm a great believer in looking for the positives in any negative. And there are a great many positives coming out of the current challenging and what some might describe as negative situation. Positives like the opportunity for us to take stock and reevaluate our priorities in life and in the society in which we live. Positives like the opportunity for us to take stock and reevaluate the way we operate in Rotary at every level, from club through district to Rotary Britain and Ireland to the zones and on to Rotary International. The phrase "build back better" has been used a great deal during the coronavirus pandemic to describe how things might look in a post-pandemic world. In fact, I think next to "you're on mute," it's probably one of the most commonly used phrases over the past couple of years. But as far as Rotary is concerned, it shouldn't be a question of building back better, but rather of building forward better. Building back implies returning to the way things were. But for me, that is not an option, as we need to learn from our collective experiences over the last 2 years and take Rotary forward into what people are calling the new normal. It would be a tragedy if we don't learn from the last 24 months. A tragedy and a travesty. We all need to seize the opportunity to take Rotary forward, but we need to do it now before the opportunity passes. We're changing faster than ever at the moment in terms of embracing new technology and embracing new ways of thinking. And I think we've probably seen the sort of changes that would have taken place anyway over the next 5 to 10 years happen within the last 2 years. This pandemic has given us a unique opportunity to draw a line in the sand and review our entire method of operating. And I believe that as we come through it, there's much to be learned as regards our future. Some of the most exciting things about Rotary just now are the opportunities that come as far as the way we operate at club level, which after all is the bedrock of Rotary. We now have so much more flexibility, and I want to encourage the use of that flexibility to allow existing clubs to operate in a way that suits their current and future members now and in the future, as well as the establishing of new styles of Rotary Club. I believe we have a one-off opportunity just now to engage with those who during the pandemic have embraced the concept of voluntary service and have them join us to allow them continue giving service. Because if clubs are our bedrock, then membership is our lifeblood. We really are so fortunate that there is so much opportunity to embrace new club models at the moment that don't need to be bound by style of meeting or by geography or by suitability of a venue. These new club models allow us to engage with a different audience, an audience that maybe doesn't want to meet every single week, an audience that maybe doesn't want to have a meal, an audience that maybe doesn't want to meet face to face at all, but would rather meet in a manner that suits them, an audience that wants to do things rather than just meet for the sake of meeting. And that audience needn't just be the young. I sometimes think we put rather too much store on attracting just young members at the moment. There are many others who might be a little bit older, but who would be interested in joining the right kind of Rotary Club for them. And so my vision for Rotary is that clubs, groups, call them what you will, should exist everywhere in a style to suit everyone who has the desire to be part of us and help us fulfill our mission. It's always concerned me that so many new members choose to leave Rotary relatively soon after joining. I was staggered to discover that 1.3 million people joined Rotary in the 10 years to July 2019. And yet over the same period, our global membership fell by 20,000. 10% of those who join Rotary leave again in the same year that they join. Now, something's wrong somewhere, and with respect, the problem doesn't lie with the new members we lose. It lies with us. We must reduce this turnover, and so the retention of new members through proper engagement, and I stress the word engagement, must be part of the vision for membership going forward. It looks like there's going to be a great base to work from following President Shekhar Mehta's Each One Get One initiative this year. But you know, with that initiative, there also comes a great responsibility. And so I look forward to each one keeping one in 2023-24. But I'll need your help to do that. I'm pleased that Rotary has finally formally recognised the importance of diversity, equity and inclusion. And our emphasis on this will do us good and will definitely help us in further promoting Rotary as a place where all can be welcomed and all can feel valued. By attracting a truly diverse membership, we will enhance our presence on the world stage, and we will increase our ability to do impactful service projects, which, after all, is one of the main reasons we exist. Things are getting better with regards to diversity. You don't need me to sit here and tell you that Rotary will welcome its first female president in the shape of Jennifer Jones on the 1st of July. This is well overdue, and we're happy to be making progress. But still, we see women representing only 24% of Rotary's membership worldwide, and that needs to change. We have more work to do, not only to welcome more women into Rotary, but every bit as importantly, to welcome other underrepresented voices. Because never forget, diversity is more than simply gender. All minorities matter, and all minorities should be welcome in a Rotary that claims to truly represent its community. To turn to another element of my vision for Rotary, let me say something about our own charity, the Rotary Foundation. If clubs are our bedrock and membership is our lifeblood, then the foundation is the fuel that provides the energy that allows us to carry out our work. As a result of recent developments surrounding polio, together with the demands of the pandemic and the addition of the environment as an area of focus, our reputation, our ability, and the opportunity to serve has grown substantially, and this requires a strong foundation. It saddens me that around 2/3 of Rotarians make no personal contribution whatsoever to the Rotary Foundation, especially at times like this, when the demands on it are increasing. Past RI President Ravi Ravindran, a man for whom I have the highest regard, recently tweeted, "Not everyone has the resource to make a large contribution, but every Rotarian has the ability to make some contribution to our foundation." And I agree. It's simple economics. We cannot take out of the foundation more than we put in. Hence the hard decisions that have had to be taken recently regarding level of funding for things like global grants. So while I'm president, I hope to support the Rotary Foundation not only to increase overall giving, but also I hope to persuade each Rotarian to contribute something to what is, after all, their foundation, and in doing so, gain true ownership of it. During my 37 years in Rotary, and as Alistair Risk can tell you, I was very young when I joined, I've seen the innovation and the changes that we've made with my own eyes. I've seen what works, and arguably more importantly, I've seen what doesn't work. And I believe that insight is invaluable. One thing I have always believed in, and which will be central to my Rotary vision, is the concept of continuity. I've always been a great advocate of continuity in Rotary, and I've tried to practice that at every level of Rotary leadership, be it club, district, Rotary Great Britain and Ireland, or zone. And I see no reason to change that now. I believe strongly in the concept of Rotary's years, plural, where there's a seamless transition between leaders, rather than the concept of my year, singular, where one individual takes us in one direction, only for other individuals to take us in different directions in subsequent years, before all too often we end up right back where we started, where individuals won't embark on any initiatives that don't complete in their year because they're worried they won't get the credit for it. I'm not bothered who gets the credit for something, as long as that something is worthwhile and is done properly. Accordingly, I'm already working with President Shaker and President-elect Jennifer, and I look forward to continuing to do so with my successor whenever he or she is identified, in a true spirit of continuity that sees Rotary move forward on a straight and steady course towards an ever better future. Friends, if I may be so presumptuous as to use that term, I would like to change direction slightly at this point. We spend a lot of time and we expend a lot of energy talking about how Rotary should operate, how we might attract and retain new members, how we might form new clubs, how we might increase support for the foundation, how we might achieve continuity. In the time remaining to me, just as I did at your handover last June, I'd also like to say something about the why. I think it's important to do so because I think it's critical that we never lose sight of why Rotary exists. It exists to make the world a better place. It exists to help people live a better life. Well, how do we do that? And that, of course, is not the easiest of questions to answer. But over the last few years, I've been lucky enough to see with my own eyes so many examples of how Rotary makes the world a better place and helps people live a better life. I'm sure all of you have too. But perhaps it's worth reflecting on just a few of those examples. There are AIDS orphans who were living in poverty in Rwanda and elsewhere in Africa through no fault of their own. But these young people are alive today and have a sustainable future because of Rotary. There are people in too many countries who were forced to walk miles each day for water that was both polluted and diseased. These people are drinking clean water today because Rotary installed a water pump in their village. I've sat beside children in a remote village in KwaZulu-Natal province in South Africa, reading school books as the evening light faded. And I've seen the joy on their faces as the solar lights we took along with us provided and came on and gave them light to continue studying. These children are being educated because of Rotary. And these are only 3 examples of countless examples I could give you, where Rotary, where each and every one of you help people live a better life, and in doing so, make the world a better place. What more could we strive for than to make a difference and create a better world, a more caring world, a more loving world than we have just now? And surely it is the creation of a more peaceful world, a more caring world, a more loving world, a kinder world that answers the question, why do we do what we do? As I draw these remarks to a close, and isn't that the best sentence you'll ever hear in a Rotary address, as I draw these remarks to a close? Those of you who have heard me speak over the last 3 months or so will have heard me quote the US Senator, the late Robert Kennedy, who, addressing the University of Cape Town in South Africa in June of 1966, said, and I quote, "Like it or not, we live in interesting times. They are times of danger and uncertainty, but they are also the most creative of any time in the history of mankind. And everyone here will ultimately be judged, will ultimately judge themselves on the effort they have contributed to building a new world society and the extent to which their ideals and goals have shaped that effort." End quote. 56 years on from Kennedy's address, in today's times of danger and uncertainty presented us by the coronavirus pandemic, let us recognize that they are also among the most creative of any time in the history of Rotary. Let us make sure we are judged on the effort we have contributed to building a new Rotary and the extent our combined ideals and goals have shaped that effort as we build forward better. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to meet and to speak with you. Thank you for all you do for Rotary. I wish you every success during the years ahead. We are all embarking on an exciting journey together, and I look forward to walking and to working alongside you. Each and every one of you is a credit to the badge that you wear, and I am proud, very proud, to belong to the same organization as you. Thank you very much.